If the punishment for parking on a double yellow line was the death penalty and therefore nobody did it, would this be a just and effective law? Let's break this question down the way you would in an Oxbridge Law interview. So the first thing I would do is split this question into two parts, effective and just. Technically, this rule is effective. If no one's parking on a double yellow line, it's achieving what it wants. But this feels like a very narrow way of looking at things, and an interviewer would want you to discuss a bit further. From this then, I might spend more time on that idea of whether it's a just law. And here I think our key point is proportionality. Parking on a double yellow line is a tiny everyday offence. However, the death penalty is one of the most extreme punishments we can have, which then makes this law feel quite unjust in our modern legal system. Once you've explored those ideas on proportionality, you may want to move on to thinking about deterrence and morality. A law that terrifies people into not doing something is not automatically right. This question wants you to talk a little bit about whether it feels right to have such an extreme punishment. Should citizens be absolutely terrified of making a tiny mistake in the fear of such an extreme punishment? Does this really put a lot of trust in our legal system and the people who are making those rules? Finally, this question might want you to address ideas of practicality. How would this even be policed? What if someone is on a double yellow line for 1 minute? What if they're just quickly pulling over for a second? So following these ideas, you might say that the effectiveness in reality just collapses. So if I was answering this question, yes, it would technically be effective, but not fair at all. And a punishment like this is not something that our legal system should accept. And this is the reasoning that you should explore in an interview. Break the question apart, define key terms, and think critically rather than giving a simple yes or no answer.